everyone. It's Michelle Caruana from Play Cafe Academy and Profitable Play. And I know typically on this channel, I spend a lot of time talking about launching your indoor playground and choosing a location and writing your business plan and getting funding, designing your space, all that good stuff. But I kind of wanted to switch gears a little bit with this video. And I wanted to really dive into a problem that I see, honestly, most indoor playground owners make after they reach opening day. So, if you've been following me for a while, you'll know that typically my podcast, and if you're not subscribed, it's called the Profitable Play Podcast on all platforms. Usually, my podcast is more geared towards current owners. So, I give 3 tips every single week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, for either current owners or owners who are pretty close to opening their business and want to be set up for success from day one. Whereas on YouTube, I would say 80% of my content is really geared towards prospective indoor playground owners, those in the planning stages. But I felt like it was really important to bring this content over to this channel because, like I said, a lot of you want to set your business up for success from day one. You don't want to have to go through that first year struggling before you come to this realization. So that's why I wanted to make this video. It's going to be pretty brief, but if you want to dive really deep into this topic, I actually did a 5-part podcast series on exactly this topic. So I'm going to go ahead and link to that in the description of this video because, like I said, this is really important. And this is one of the most crucial things that I see really determine the difference between the success or the failure of an indoor playground. And not only do I work with hundreds of indoor playground owners in my membership Playmaker Society, but I also do one-on-one consulting. I've spent the last 2 years flying all over the country, driving, all the way up the coasts, visiting and consulting with indoor playground owners. So sometimes people comment on my videos and say things like, well, some of the stuff that you teach might not actually work in practice, but I'm telling you, this especially is one of those videos that I see put into practice every single day by owners inside Playmaker Society. And it has made all the difference for them. And this is real life. This is not a hypothetical, even though I'm going to go into a little hypothetical example with numbers in a second that will really show you and give you a crystal clear picture of just how big a difference focusing on these key 2 types of revenue can have on your business. So I kind of already alluded to what we're going to talk about today, but what I want to talk about is that most indoor playground owners really fail to focus on 2 key types of revenue. And I've talked about this a lot in my kind of post-pandemic videos where I talked about, what the difference was between indoor playgrounds who survived the pandemic, those who didn't, all that good stuff. So I talked a lot about this already, but it's even more so important now as we face a possible recession, economic downturn, whatever they're calling it these days. This is even more crucial than ever. And I'm going to make an entire video about preparing for the recession and things like that. But I'm telling you, these 2 key types of revenue are crucial right now for your business. And those key 2 types of revenue are recurring revenue, so memberships, and big ticket revenue. So birthday parties, packs of classes, anything that's over like $250 to $300. And the reason that these 2 types of revenue are so crucial, and again, we're going to go through that crystal clear example with actual numbers in a second, but we don't live in a perfect world, right? If we lived in a perfect world, then every single person on our following, on our email list would see single offer we put out there. They'd read every single post. They'd read every single email. They'd scour through every single page of our website, and they'd know exactly what we offer all the time. But we don't live in a perfect world. We don't have every single second of our lives to advertise every single thing we offer. We don't have unlimited advertising budgets to spend equal amounts or unlimited amounts on every single one of our services and offers. And for this reason, I've found, again, in practice, that focusing on these key 2 types of revenue is really a crucial difference between success and failure. And I want to really quickly talk about memberships. And again, this is one of those determining factors of people who made it through the pandemic and didn't. And that's because members are going to be your most loyal customers. They've integrated you into their routine. They've probably formed a relationship with either you or your staff. They're invested in your success. They respect your space. They're not the ones leaving it a mess. They're the ones that recommend you to all their friends. They're buying cafe items and snacks. And like I said, most importantly, they pay your prices, they respect your space, and those recurring charges will hit your bank account month after month after month after only having to make one single sale and simply keep that member happy. It is so much easier, especially in times of economic downturn, to make one sale that is recurring than to have to make new sales every single month. It's much easier to retain a customer and it takes less effort, less advertising spend, less marketing effort than constantly having to rely on brand new sales every single month. And we've been through economic downturns in our business, and the first thing to always see a sharp decline actually isn't memberships or parties. It's actually one off open play purchases because those people aren't integrated into your business. They're not part of your community. They, aren't your loyal customers. They haven't, worked your space into their routine. And they're going to be the first ones to pinch their pennies and say, you know what? This is not a necessary part of my spend. We're going to cut this entertainment part out. Whereas your members really see your space as a necessity for their family. They value play, they value socialization. And again, this is all things that I've seen in practice. So memberships are absolutely crucial. And we're going to see exactly why when we go through the numbers in a second. And big ticket, this should be obvious, but it's so much easier to make one single birthday party sale, let's say for $500, than have to make 25 of the exact same transactions or sales or conversions in for open play passes or one-off classes or things like that. And you might be listening to this and thinking, well, Michelle, that doesn't really make sense because even if you sell a birthday party and you sell 25 open play passes, that's pretty much the same amount of work because either case you have, likely 25 kids in your space. So you sell one birthday party, you welcome 25 kids, you have to clean up after 25 kids, you know the drill. And then if you have 25 open play kids, you have the same amount of cleanup, same amount of staffing needs and stuff like that. But let me ask you this. Who would you rather rely on to bring those 25 customers into your business? Would you rather rely on yourself and your marketing and your advertising spend and the amount of effort you put in shouting your services from the rooftops? Or would you rather just make one sale to one customer and then have that customer bring those 25 people to you on a silver platter virtually? And what I love about birthday parties too is that you now have all of these people's email addresses because they're signing your waivers. And again, you didn't have to work for these leads like you did for open play or something like that because you will have to fight for open play traffic or spend money advertising. It's just the way it is, especially when you're just starting out. So you have all of these email addresses, you can follow up with them. And if you even make one birthday party booking from that initial birthday party, that's another $500 transaction or, gross revenue. Most party packages are actually more expensive. I just pulled that 500 number out from the example I'm going to give in a second. But now you have all of these email addresses and opportunities to follow up with them. And if you deliver an excellent birthday party experience, you will continue to book up your birthday calendar just from these people that are coming and being birthday party guests alone. All right, so I promised we would get into a real life number example, but I just kind of wanted to lay the groundwork. But now we're going to look at two different businesses. And again, this should give you a crystal clear picture of just how crucial focusing on these two key types of revenue is in your business, because we also have finite energy as business owners and burnout is absolutely real. So I want you to think as we go through this example, which one sounds like it's going to give you the lifestyle you deserve? Which one sounds like it's going to be a lot less stress and a lot less work and a lot less chaotic? Which one sounds like you're going to have more time to do things other than market, do things other than post on Reels and TikTok? I want you to kind of have those questions in the back of your mind as we go through this example. All right, so let's dive in and look at two different businesses. All right, so let's talk about business A and business B. But first, we're going to assume that both of these businesses have a few things in common. So first, we're going to assume that they both need to make $20,000 per month in revenue. The second thing we're going to assume is that they both have just opened. So they don't have any existing members, they don't have any existing parties, but both of them have been marketing for the months leading up to their opening, which most indoor playground owners are doing. So while they don't have any members prior to opening, people do know about their business and they have been spreading the word. And we're also going to assume that, again, just for example's sake, that both of these businesses only focus on the revenue streams that we're going to talk about. In the real world, of course, both might have cafes, both might, offer memberships and parties and things like that. But I'm telling you right now, offering something is not the same as focusing on something. And honestly, that's usually the disconnect. And that's where the mistake comes in for most indoor playground owners. They have memberships offered on their website, but they don't train their team to sell them effectively. They don't price them correctly. They don't have an intriguing, high converting membership offer. And that's exactly why I spend so much time in my courses and programs teaching about how to have a thriving membership side of your business. Because, like I said, most indoor playground owners offer memberships, but they don't focus or prioritize them. So that's a huge distinction. So that's why I'm making both of these businesses in absolutes, because I want to show you what having a clear focus does for each business. So just keep that in mind. All right, so business A. Business A focuses on big ticket and recurring revenue, which is what we talked about up until now. And in month one of their business, business A needs to do 25 birthday parties, averaging around $500 in gross revenue. And I made this example specifically so that it could fit into a smaller footprint indoor playground that just does private parties or a larger indoor playground. So again, you might need to tweak these numbers for you. This is just example sake, but it is possible to do 25 birthday parties a month, even as a smaller facility. So this is very realistic. All right, and then let's say business A also needs to sell 150 memberships at around $50 each. So honestly, most indoor playground memberships are going to be more than $50 a month. Again, this is just for example. But in order to hit that $20,000 per month in revenue, business A needs to do 25 parties and they need to sell 150 memberships. That's 125 total transactions for business A to hit their revenue goal. 175 sales they need to make. And sure, some members could book parties, so it might not be 175 distinct customers, but again, just stay with me. Now, business B focuses on one-off classes and open play. And that's what they're sharing on social media. That's what they're talking about. That's their main focus of their business. Now, let's assume their average transaction is $20. So sure, classes might be 30, open play might be 15. Let's just use $20 to have an even number. Business B needs to sell 1,000 transactions of those $20 transactions in order to get to that same $20,000 per month in revenue that business A did. That's 1,000 transactions. That's 83% more transactions needed for business B than business A. And let me tell you from experience, business B is going to feel that 83% in their soul. They're going to have to work harder. They're going to have to spend more. They're going to have to post more. They're going to have to come up with all sorts of promotions and crafts and specials and rotate their play equipment. And they're going to have to just do so much more work to fight and scrape for those teeny tiny $20 transactions, because each time they make a sale, it's a drop in the bucket. So just keep this in mind. And this is just month one. So let's talk about 6 months down the road. Business A, who still focuses on big ticket and recurring revenue, they still need to do that same 25 parties around $500 in gross revenue per month. And again, most indoor playground parties are more expensive. So I wanted to make this as conservative, as realistic as possible. So again, that same 25 parties 6 months down the road. However, now business A only needs to sell 10 memberships in that month. And we're saying 10 memberships just due to churn. So of their 150 members, let's say 10 cancel. And so they need to fill those 10 spots. So that's where I got that number from. So they need to sell 25 parties and they need to sell 10 memberships. That's only 35 transactions for business A in one entire month to hit their revenue goal, which is just absolutely crazy. And now back to business B. Business B is still focusing on one-off classes in open play. And again, their average transaction is $20. 6 months down the road, they're still needing to sell 1,000 transactions, 1,000 conversions per month to hit their revenue goal. That's now 97% more transactions, more sales, more customers that they need to market to convert in order to hit that same revenue goal as business A. And by now, like I said, business B is going to be feeling burned out. They're going to be looking for marketing solutions. They're going to be scraping and trying and just scrounging for every last penny that they can get. And I'm telling you, this is the fastest road to burnout in the indoor playground industry. And again, I'm speaking from not only my experience, but the experience of the hundreds, if not thousands, of indoor playground owners I've worked with. All right, so I hope that example really helped shed a light for you on just how important these two key types of revenue are. Because again, if we're facing an economic downturn or a recession, I would much rather only need to find 35 customers a month to convert than have to find 1,000 customers who still have the money, who still have the resources, who still have the will to pay for play. Because just the, unfortunate truth in a capitalist society, not everyone is going to be as adversely affected by the recession. That's just the way it is, again, in a capitalist society. So I would much rather only need to find 35 customers a month than 1,000. So that's absolutely crucial, especially right now. So again, if you want to do a deep dive on this with me, head to my podcast. It's linked in the description of this video. And again, this is one of the most important reasons or key reasons why I focus on memberships, why I focus on birthday parties, birthday party pricing, birthday party experience, delivering the best possible birthday experience so that your current bookings result in extra bookings without having to spend too much money on ads, without having to post on social media every 5 minutes, without having to feel like your back is always against the wall and like the bills just don't stop coming and you just can't keep your head above water. So again, if you focus on these two key types of revenue, and when I say focus, I mean actually focus, don't just offer these as revenue types, put them as the absolute primary focus of your business and walk the walk in your marketing, in your actual space. So when somebody walks in, do they know that you do birthday parties? Is it absolutely undeniable? Can they not possibly ignore it? Is your sales team, like I said, or your team members, are they trained to sell memberships? Are they priced correctly? Do you have a perfect membership offer that converts? Do you know how to retain members? Do you know how to grow and scale a membership offer? Do you know how to add online components to make it even more irresistible? Again, these are all things that I focus on as really crucial parts of my Play Cafe Academy and Playmaker Society program. So if you want my help with executing this, because again, the disconnect really comes between, actually offering these things and really focusing and executing them and walking the walk. So if you want my help with this, I'd love to help you. All of my information, all my programs, my Instagram is linked below this video. And again, I would love to be your partner in success. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you never miss a video. And I would love to welcome you on the inside of my programs. Have a great day, guys.